Hi everyone, I'm Joshua Orro from Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now, I want to let you guys know a little something. I love the Kingdom Hearts video games. And if you recall, I did a 3-part review of HD 1.5 Remix last January before I got my leg operated. So with HD 2.5 Remix almost in stores and Kingdom Hearts 3 in development, I think I should do something Kingdom Hearts related. And I think I know just how to do it. Why don't I do a countdown list? What of, you may ask? Well, one of my favorite parts of the games are visiting different worlds. Even if most of these worlds are, well, from classic Disney films, they have clever scenery, nice music, and battle themes, including interesting enemies. So today, I decided to gather 10 of them to see who I love to visit the most. Now, I gotta let everyone know that all the worlds that are gonna be on this list are entirely Disney themed. So, worlds like Destiny Island, Twilight Town, Castle Oblivion, the Datascape, etc. aren't gonna be on here. Not even worlds featured within worlds. And if some of these worlds appear in more than one game, I'll be comparing them for how they are in each of them, except for how they are in Enchanted Memories, Coded, or Key. Also, there may be 3 ties in a few of the spots. So, for all you at home, get ready to blast off on your gummy ships, for this is my top 10 Kingdom Hearts worlds. Now, I want to apologize that I didn't include any worlds like Hollow Bastion on the list. But I hope I can make it up to you guys with this one. Now, to be honest, this spot is on the bottom of the list because it's one of the first 3 worlds you visit in Birth by Sleep. The Enchanted Dominion is a realm that includes the castles of Maleficent and King Stefan. Inside King Stefan's castle is 4 different areas. The audience chamber, where everyone is in a deep sleep, even though in the game they're not seen, and it's also the biggest area in this world. Upstairs is the hallway. To the left at the end is the door to Aurora's chamber, where you find a sleeping Aurora. When you go through a fireplace, you'll find yourself in the tower room where Aurora pricked her finger. Through the gates of the castle is a long bridge that connects to the forest clearing, which is missing the woodcutter's cottage where Aurora grew up as Briar Rose. Past there is the water side. At the end of the path is the road to the Forbidden Mountain, which is temporarily blocked by a wall of fire and thorns. At Maleficent's castle, which is a dark, crumbling lair, it is really infested with countless of her pig-faced and beak-faced minions. Not to mention the fact that Diablo sends a whole army after you at one part. There's also one area where there's a huge maze of magical walls that pop up at certain corners where you're trying to retrieve Aurora's heart. And the only way to get through that maze is touching swirling colored fire that teleports to another part of the maze. And also there's one little note I need to mention, that when you're playing as Aqua and you approach Maleficent's throne, Maleficent does conjure up a hole that takes you to the dungeon where Philip is being held captive. The music for this world has a soft and beautiful tone to it. However, in my eyes, the best part of this world is fighting Maleficent not once, but twice. Overall, this world may not have much to offer, but truly worth a visit.
But remember one thing. As long as there is light, there will be darkness. And in time, many more will be drawn to it. Then they will all belong to me!
Now this next spot is actually someplace I've been to on stage back in 2009. You see, the theater I act at, which is called Musical Theater Village, which is in Irvine, California, has done classic musicals in the past, but I have never done a show based on a Disney film before until that time. And I gotta say that my friend Aurora did a great job directing the show, and I had a real blast being one of the elite Huns. But anyway, I'm here to talk about the world, which is actually in China. The first place you go to is the tranquil bamboo grove, where you meet up with Mulan disguised as Ping, along with everyone's favorite comedic dragon, Mushu. Afterwards, you go down the path that takes you to the encampment area where a division of China's army trains and lives. Their missions, which are assigned by Captain Li Sheng, send you to a nearby checkpoint, a set of gates near a beautiful waterfall and stream. The area serves as a sort of crossroads where the world's path intersects. Going left will take you to the mountain trail, which is a twisting and curving path full of ledges, dead ends, and treacherous heartless, including these baddies. Clearing out the boulders blocking the way allows the army to enter an abandoned Chinese village near the edge of the battle that holds the world's Mughal shop. Several warriors can be found here to tell you about the world and how other soldiers despair, turning them into heartless. Off of the main path is the village cave, where a clever trap is laid for you by, well, my old boss, Shan Yu. Continuing up the path will take you to the final area, the summit of the mountain, where many major encounters take place, including an army of rapid thrusters. After Ping reverts back to Mulan, when you go right at the checkpoint, it will take everyone to the palace. You arrive at the Imperial Square, which is a wide open area that plays host to a number of enemies, and a boss battle. Continuing up the stairs takes you to the palace gates, where one of the world's bosses takes place at. At the end of your second visit, you are granted access to the palace itself. Entering the gate leads you to the antechamber, where you meet up with the insane Zigbar. And from there, you go to the throne room, the headquarters of the Emperor. At certain areas, there are some wagons and rockets that explode when you attack them, but they do drop drive orbs and MP balls after they explode. There are also whirlwinds that can be useful when it comes to fighting airborne enemies. Also, both the music themes are entirely Chinese-styled. With a world like this, it will truly make a man out of everybody.
Now that's what I call burning some honey bun. Oh yeah! Mulan's the best! Mulan's the best! Now wait a minute, I'm the best! Mushu's the best! Mushu's the best!
Now my next spot is actually a tie, for two different reasons. One, they're both French-styled, and 2, they're both from films that Haley Joel Osment has voiced in during his childhood. Now let's begin with the first world in my tie. The Beast Castle mostly is just a gloomy enchanted castle that has been cast under a powerful enchantress's spell because of Prince Adam's selfish heart that has made him into a beast. In Kingdom Hearts 2, you first arrive at the castle's entrance hall. A small door to the east leads to the parlor, where you have an abrupt encounter with the beast, and along with some Shadow Heartless. The parlor also holds the world's Moogle shop as well as a save point. To the north, back at the entrance hall, is the grand staircase that leads to both the wings of the castle. Going straight takes you to the magnificent ballroom, where a number of plot points take place, including this. Going to the east takes everyone to the east wing, where Belle's room is. Here she provides some information, along with a few chests and a save point for you. Going to the west takes the party to a much larger and more involved West Hall. Unfortunately, suits of armor block the stairways to the right, so the only place you'll get to explore, once you move the wardrobe out of the way, is the Undercroft. After a boss battle with the Thresholder, the party reaches the dungeon, where you meet the Beast's servants, Lumiere, Cogsworth, Mrs. Potts, and Chip, who Haley Joel Osment voiced in the Enchanted Christmas movie. From them, you get to learn about the world's events. Then you go from the Undercroft to a secret passageway, which allows you to sneak past the armored suits blocking the stairs back at the West Hall. Entering the door opposite of the secret passageway takes you to the West Wing, at the end of which is the Beast Room, where you encounter the person behind all the commotion at the castle. Later, the main doors of the entrance hall is unlocked during your second trip to the Beast Castle, allowing you to access 2 more areas: the courtyard, full of frightening gargoyle statues, and the bridge where the final confrontation with Zaldin takes place at. In 358 over 2 days, a passage in the courtyard, which can be unlocked by inserting the gargoyle statues into the proper places, leads to the entrance's hall upper level, which has a door that leads to the balcony of the ballroom and a hole in the wall that drops into the main entrance hall. As for the music, this world does seem to have a calm, soft melody. La Cité des Cloches, or City of Bells, as it's called in English, has way more to it than Beast Castle. The first place you go to is the town square outside Notre Dame, which has gypsy tents and a stage for the Festival of Fools. It's also where you fight the world's boss, the Wargoyle, on the ground as Sora and in the air as Riku. You go inside the cathedral's nave, which is where you might meet up with the rare Dream Eater mini-boss. When you go upstairs, you'll find yourself on the roof, which is a quick shortcut back to the square, if you manage to fall or jump off the roof. You also get to explore Quasimodo's bell tower, where you can use your flow motion moves to reach certain treasure chests. The bells also release HP balls or money if you hit them. When you exit the square, the town suddenly gets overrun with Weeflower Dream Eaters, and they blocked off certain roads with dark vines. After you beat them, you can explore the town to find treasure chests with the help of your flow motion moves and the Faith Line reality shift, Some chests can be found on the roof of the houses. The gate that leads outside of town leads you to the bridge that can take you to the outskirts of Paris. However, in those two areas, you gotta be careful, because the Wargoyle can shoot fireballs at you if you're playing as Riku.
What? Not like this is fair. No use. I gotta run for it.
The outskirts has two paths depending on who you're playing as. If you're playing as Sora, you take the path that takes you to the graveyard, where you'll travel through some tunnels to find the Court of Miracles. If you're playing as Riku, you take the path that goes to the windmill. There are other things in the City of Bells that can drop certain items, like wagons in the Court of Miracles. With all that said, both Beast Castle and the City of Bells are one world that's enchanted, and the other world is heavenly. You'll not be disappointed once you go to them.
This castle belongs to me. Zaldin will never be welcome here.
Sanctuary!
Was a long time ago, longer now than it seems, in a world perhaps you've seen in your dreams. I know you're anxious to know what world is next. It's a world where two holidays connect. Let me start off by saying that I love a lot of Tim Burton's films, and The Nightmare Before Christmas is no exception. I love it so much that it actually made it to number 3 on my top 25 Halloween films. I especially love its addition to the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland. But anyway, about Halloween Town, this world is in a constant state of night. The main light comes from the bright full moon overhead. The theme for the area is twisted, gothic, and a creepy appearance. Guillotine Plaza, or Town Square in Kingdom Hearts 2, is named after the deadly guillotine in the middle of the area. There is also a fountain full of green water and various ledges to climb on. In Kingdom Hearts 2, the area takes on a slightly different appearance. The fountain now squirts water that deals damage if hit. The guillotine can come down on characters for damage, if they pass underneath it, though. And one of the gates, which is actually in front of Jack's house, with presents behind it, deals damage if you come anywhere near it. And nearby grates can spew poisonous gas. In both games, the square links directly to Dr. Finkelstein's lab, where much of the exposition for both games is initially given. In Kingdom Hearts, it also links to the Guillotine Gate, called Halloween Town Entrance in 358 over 2 days, which serves as the entrance to Halloween Town. Nearby, there is a graveyard that serves as a connection to the other places in both games. In Kingdom Hearts 2, the gravestones can be knocked over for drive orbs and damage. In both games, the graveyard leads to Moonlight Hill, or Curly Hill in Kingdom Hearts 2, with a Sunday Swirl Hill that can uncurl in Kingdom Hearts to take you to the next area. In days, you can get to the next area by climbing a ladder. In Kingdom Hearts 2, the left fork in the graveyard also takes the party to the Hinterlands, a quiet wood that leads to trees carved with various symbols of other holidays. They in fact lead to towns of varying holidays like Christmas, Easter, St. Patrick's Day, Thanksgiving, Independence Day, and Valentine's Day. In Kingdom Hearts, while you're navigating through the graveyard, you can go through various grave coffins or use floating lanterns, which in days, the lanterns are replaced by little holes created by lock, shock, and barrel. Traveling over Moonlight Hill takes you to the bridge, which leads right to Oogie's Manor and the Evil Playroom. Within that serves as the hideout of Lock, Shock, and Barrel, as well as Oogie Boogie's own torture chamber. In Kingdom Hearts 2, the Hinterlands will take you to Yuletide Hill, where you can travel down to Candy Cane Lane to reach Christmas Town. In Christmas Town, you can visit with Santa Claus himself inside his house and explore the shipping and receiving and wrapping rooms of the toy factory. Late in the game, you can also go to Christmas Tree Plaza to fight a boss battle. With Halloween Town, you'll have a frightening good time for the Halloween and Christmas seasons.
Happy Halloween!
What a nice present.
Now here's another tie with two great concepts. Both worlds where there's awesome sword fighting, and the other part is where you can choose your destination where you want to go to. What are they? Well... Now, back when I was a child, I wasn't really that much of a fan of Pirates of the Caribbean before the movie even existed, because the ride really was scary. But anyway, now that I'm older, I've overcome my fears of it. But anyway, enough about the ride, or the movie. Let's just talk about the world of Port Royal first, before we move on to the country of the Musketeers. Port Royal is divided into three main areas. The actual town of Port Royal, the cursed Isla de Muerta, and the ship's graveyard. Traveling between location centers around the Interceptor and the Black Pearl, you land at a location where the ships are docked. Both ships can be attacked by pirates or monsters by route. And if you need to escape, you can usually retreat inside the ship's cabin where enemies will not follow you. These areas, the Interceptor's hold, and the Black Pearl stateroom contain save points to quicken healing. You first land on the rampart of Port Royal's fort, which holds several defense cannons. The town's prison can also be seen from here, and the two sets of stairs lead right to the rest of the island. If you take the left set of stairs, you arrive at the harbor, where you first encounter Barbossa's crew of undead pirates. From here, the bridge leads into the town's main area. Finally, a road leads from the town to the other set of stairs back at the rampart. While fighting Barbossa, you, while teaming up with Jack Sparrow, must travel to the Isla de Muerta, which, in the words of Jack Sparrow, is an island that cannot be found except by those who already know where it is. Sailing the Interceptor, you first land at the island's rock face, an outcropping that leads to the inner caves. From the cave's mouth, you access the powder store, where pirates wait in ambush behind explosive gunpowder crates. You need to detonate those crates to create paths for the Moonlight. Next is the Moonlight Nook, a small area that serves as a perfect battleground due to the abundance of moonlight, making it easy to defeat undead pirates. And the last area of the Isla de Muerta is the Treasure Heap, a cave where all the pirates store their treasure they have obtained within the years of their curse. In the center of the treasure heap is the stone chest containing 882 cursed gold coins, where you have your final duel with Barbossa. Later, while tracking down Luxord, you gain access to the ship graveyard, where the sea's currents have carried the wrecks of many ships that have sunk in the vicinity of the Isla de Muerta, including the Interceptor. You begin in the Interceptor's hold, one of the few remaining pieces of the ship. From here, you go to the Sea Drift Row, which is a long corridor consisting of the remains of destroyed ships. The last area is the Sea Drift Keep, a shipwreck that bears a resemblance to a makeshift fort. All throughout Port Royal, the chests that you may be looking for can be hard to find because of the dark landscapes. In one of the rooms in the ship graveyard, an anchor can be attacked, making it swing across the room and damage anything in its way. Now, the reason why the Country of the Musketeers is also on this list is because of my appreciation for Mickey and his gang. You start your visit in the training yard, which is a large area used by the Musketeers to train their skills. From here, you take a carriage that you can use to go to 3 different places. One of them is the Tower Road, an area near the ocean where there's a route to a bridge that leads to a tower where Princess Minnie is being held prisoner after you defeat a Taranto Rex boss. Which I believe is one of the coolest Dream Eaters in the entire game. Anyway, you can also take the carriage to the shore, in which there's a small forest that leads to the beach. There is where there's a boat that goes right to Mont Saint-Michel. Mont Saint-Michel is a big city with various roads and a stairway that leads right to the dungeon. It's a place where there are various cages and many prisoners are being held, and in its depths there is one cell where Mickey is being held prisoner. These areas can only be explored by Sora. From the training yard, you can also take the carriage to the Opera House. The big entrance to the theater, which is where Riku starts. From here, you can enter the Grand Lobby, which is a big entrance hall with various stairways leading to the theater, the stage where the opera is presented. From here, Riku can also go backstage, located behind the theater, where the opera is prepared and various pieces of environment use in it, such as towers and walls, can be found. This area also leads to the machine room, where all curtains and such of the theater are controlled. Here there is also an entrance back to the Grand Lobby, and another one that leads to the Green Room, which is a big hall with figurines and clothes where the actors and actresses prepare for the opera. From here, there's also a door that leads back to the theater entrance. With all this said, with great battles and great ways to travel, Port Royal and Country of the Musketeers is perfect for number 6.
All for one